Hi, and welcome to The Bright Balloon, a podcast where I'm sharing bright ideas for your balloon business. My name is Sarah Meyer, and I'm a balloon business owner like you, and I love the creative side of what I do, but I really love the business side, which seems to be the part where most people struggle. So I'm here to help. Each week, I'm bringing you an episode full of bite-sized tips you can use to make improvements in your business. I want you to make more money, eliminate stress, and learn along with me as we grow our creative businesses together. Welcome to The Bright Balloon, presented by 17 Hats. Welcome to today's episode. Today, I am chatting with Chris Tribuna, the owner of Balloon Design Studio, and he serves New Jersey and New York, and specifically high-end clients. He targets those luxury clients, he prices high, and he goes after the big jobs. So we are talking about what he does to attract those clients and how he negotiates some of those large installs. So we are going to take a quick break and head over to the UGlu Hotline for some great advice that sticks, and then get into this interview with Chris Tribuna of Balloon Design Studio. Welcome to the UGlu Hotline, where we discuss great advice that sticks, brought to you by Pro Tapes. Pro Tapes is a leading manufacturer of specialty tape products like Pro Artist, Pro Gaff, and our favorite balloon tape, UGlu, which helps you create amazing balloon arrangements and decorations. If you have a tip, send me a DM on Instagram at The Bright Balloon. Today's tip is courtesy of Jamie, the owner of Event Accents Company, and she recommends having everything in your shop on wheels, from your cabinets to your tables. It makes cleaning and reorganizing so much easier when you can move things around in your shop. Thank you, Jamie, for sharing your tip. Welcome to this episode, Chris. Long time coming. We have been talking about recording for like a year now, and I'm so excited to have you on. Go ahead and start us off with an introduction of who you are, how you found balloons, and a little bit about your business.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me, Sarah. My name is Chris Tribuna. I'm the owner of Balloon Design Studio based in New Jersey, but we service New York City, the tri-state area, and the nation. What got me into balloons was it was a lifelong interest of mine. Ever since I was a child, I was obsessed with balloons, whether it was my friends' birthday parties or going to like the supermarket where they have all the balloons at the checkout. It was just an infatuation from the start, and I would play around with like balloons and balloon animals for family parties. And then in sixth grade, my fifth grade teacher hired me to do a balloon arch for her daughter's Sweet 16. And that was my first paid gig. And then
So
as a
how long do you say you've been in business then? Do you count that as your first paid job?
yeah, I do count that as my first paid job, but not first time being full time.
Okay.
So like that was 2009, and then full time was 2017 after I graduated college.
Okay. Did you know through college that this was what you were going to do, or it was always just kind of this side idea?
I knew I always wanted to do it. My dad's big into education, which I respect, and he wanted me to get a degree in something. So I got that degree, and I was working in that after college while running my company on the side. And I was like, I'm doing too much. I just need
Yeah.
one thing.
Yeah. So you said you went full time in 2017?
Correct.
Okay. So one of the things that I think you stood out to me when we were chatting is that, unlike me, like, I love the day to day. I love quick columns, easy orders. Like, I have my color chart. I am not as drawn to the custom stuff. You really like the big, the fancy, the high end. Like, you'll go to New York City and do a job. That's like my worst nightmare. I find all of that so stressful. But that's kind of what you want to be targeting. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, we do the smaller events as well, and they're easy and repeatable, and it's like you said, it's fun and easy. You have the color charts, you bang them out in no time. But like what my passion is doing the big crazy installs that challenge me creatively, and that's what brought me into the joy of balloons.
Yeah.
It's like every venue is a different challenge, especially in New York City with the load in and insurance requirements and all that. And it just, I don't know, it just makes it more fun for me and enjoyable instead of doing the same thing every day. It's each day is different.
Interesting. So, if we're talking about high end clients, how do you personally define that? Like, what would your criteria be for someone that you consider a high-end client?
I would say a high-end client in my eyes is probably like someone who's going to spend 10,000 or more on
Okay.
balloons. And then you get to like the ultra luxury, which hits like a whole other point that's like 30 plus thousand.
And you've had some of those?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's like not as much of a reality in the Midwest, but I would imagine in New York, you're kind of primed for some of those. Are
Sure.
most of those larger jobs working with event planners?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
So
like you're not, no one's planning their own party if they're spending 30 grand.
if they have that much money, they either have like a personal assistant who will like plan it, or they'll have like an event planner that they trust that will plan it.
Yeah. So are you targeting more of those people? Like you're going after the planners and the assistants?
Yeah, more of the event planners. I do a lot of in-person networking with event planners and event decorators and then venues as well.
Okay.
So if like a client comes to a venue and they're like, "Do you have any recommendations on vendors?" Because nowadays there are 8,000 people that do balloons in New York,
Yeah.
New Jersey. So we're usually recommended by a few of the venues around, and that helps as well get those high-end clients.
Cool. Do you have any particular strategies for that face-to-face networking? I find that very intimidating. Like I never know what my goal is going in other than just trying to like meet people. Like I don't know. I don't ever have a strategy. Do you, or is it all about forming relationships?
I mean, I would say I do have a strategy. Like, I'm not a pushy salesman at all.
Mm,
I'm more of a build the personal relationship. Like, this is what I do. This is who I am. If you want to hire me, you do. If you don't, you don't. Like, I'm not
yeah.
like be a used car salesman or whatever the motto is.
Right, right.
Yeah, so most of my high-end clients, we have like a personal relationship as well. Like I get dinner with some of them, like we go out and get drinks. It's like we're friends and then we also collaborate on events as well. So
Yeah.
it's not so much like business, like I'm not going to talk to you unless you hire me type of situation. So it's more on the personal level.
Yeah. No, interesting. And are there any, since you are kind of friends, you kind of bridge that gap, are there ever events that you're like, I'm probably not the right person for this, or do you take everything?
I mean, if it's like a good repeat event planner or event decorator, I will take it. And I don't
Yeah.
say no, even if it is like a smaller event.
You're like not thrilled to do like a Pokemon themed
Yeah.
party.
Yeah, like we have had some smaller events that our event planners have hired us for, which I'll do because I want to keep that relationship up and I
Yeah.
will take everything
Yeah.
because why not?
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, there's not really anything I would say no to based on a design standpoint, I don't think. But I know that, if you are trying to attract these high-end clients, I would imagine you're not going out of your way to post lower end events or show that stuff. Like is it kind of you sell what you show? Do you try to keep your website and your social media all those larger events, or is it a good mix?
I mean, our website is currently being redone and our logo is being redone as well.
Oh, okay.
We're in the process of a huge, big brand refresh to kind of cater to more of the luxury market
Okay.
than our current branding. So the new website, I saw the first draft, and that's catered to more of the larger, bigger events. And then I also want to incorporate some smaller ones too, like for our local clients,
Mm-hmm.
same town, and just cater to everyone, but focus more on the larger events and the smaller ones.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, this is kind of a funny question, but do you ever have people like posing as a luxury client and you're like, I don't actually think you are? Like, do you ever see any red flags when you're like, I just don't know that you have the budget or that you are like, I don't know how to ask this question,
Yeah.
but I do think sometimes people write these big fancy emails and then you
Yeah.
spend all this time putting together a proposal and a mock-up and you're like, wait, your budget's $200? Like, how did I fall for this? So how are you kind of vetting these people? And then I guess the second question would be what is your luxury client process? Like, what does that look like?
I mean, I had one person a few years ago call and they're like, we want to fill the ceiling with balloons and there's like no budget. He's just going to pay whatever it takes.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a luxury client that I met at like a luxury networking group. So I was like, okay. like I'm not going to take advantage of someone. I'm just going to give them my regular prices. So I sent them the prices. I think it was like 15,000 or something. And then they said later the client's not going to go with it.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, so you come saying that you'll spend whatever it takes, and now you're not spending whatever it takes.
Yeah, I do feel like sometimes people think like, oh, there's no way balloons could ever cost more than like 3 grand. Like, obviously that, and it's
Yeah,
like, no, that's actually like a really easy number to get to with some classic columns and
100%.
arches. Like, that's not that much. But I do think sometimes people think like, oh, I'll spend whatever. And it's like, I don't think you know how much helium costs and how much labor
Hmm.
costs and how much balloons cost these days, especially like, chrome balloons. I don't think anyone has any idea that those are like $25 a bag. Like that seems like an astronomical number for the average person who,
Yeah,
they still think balloons are $1 and they are not.
no. And I mean,
Interesting.
now with like Party City's bankruptcy issues, it's like it shows our clients that those price points are not sustainable to survive in this economy and this current world.
Exactly, exactly. Do you think that will impact you? Do you think you'll see an influx of like lower budget items now that people can't go to Party City, or do you not see that having an impact on you?
I mean, I feel like it will have an impact on like more inquiries coming in.
Hmm.
But this year, for the first time ever, I'm creating like an actual minimum like to hire us. So I'm hoping that that will kind of like deter someone with like the lower budget that's just going to Party City to buy like 5 balloons or something,
Hmm.
which I totally respect. Everyone has their own budgets and price points they want to spend on balloons.
Absolutely. Yeah. This conversation is not at all like, how dare they not spend
Yeah,
$15,000? Like my average order is like $300. And I would never spend that on balloons for my kid's party.
I
Like
would
I
never
am not
spend
my
that
own
much.
client,
Yeah,
And it's, yeah, we're not poo-pooing them, but at the same time, we
no,
just can't operate at those prices. I mean, and like you just said, neither could Party City. Like they clearly couldn't
exactly.
operate at those prices either on that big scale. They still went out of business. So yeah, I don't foresee it impacting me either, just because we didn't have a location close. They was like 45 minutes away. So I feel like people already weren't going to Party City. Um, but yeah, I always just wonder how that's gonna impact us, if it will at all.
Yeah, like
Um,
I have a close relationship with like a party store in my town that
mm,
has like a retail location. So like if anyone comes and they're just looking for like a few balloons, I'll send them to him and then he'll send me any people that are looking for more decor because they don't do decor anymore. So it's
yeah.
like a good relationship that we
Oh, that
have.
is great. Yeah, that's really great. Because yeah, I can't imagine that they're set up to go and do, 15 arches if they're used to doing, paper goods and party supplies. Like it's not the same. I think everyone thinks like, oh, you do balloons, so you do everything. It's like actually a delivery business is really different than a decor business, and that's really different than a retail business. And it's just we are really different, even though we do the same things, sort of.
Yeah, totally. There's different logistics and different options with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Even like a delivery van, like a retail location might not have a van. And that to me is like the basis of a
Yeah,
decor company. It's like you have to have space to get stuff there. My whole business changed when I got my van. Like I don't know how I did it without, but yeah.
you did.
Cool. Let's take our first break, and then I want to talk a little bit more about pricing, if you don't mind, after we come back.
Sounds good.
This episode is brought to you in part by Having a Party Wholesale, your one-stop shop for professional balloon supplies. Some of my summer favorites include iridescent Brookloon foils, flanges that I use to make my own base plates, and did you know they even sell dog toys made from recycled balloons? How cute is that? Having a Party has everything you need to keep creating. Their fast shipping, great prices, and customer first service make them my go-to supplier. Head to havingaparty.com and use promo code podcast at checkout. Okay, welcome back. Let's talk about pricing. I have a very distinct memory of having a conversation with you in someone's kitchen, and you were talking about how your pricing is high, how you want to be the highest. And I've never heard anyone say that. I mean, I've heard people talk about that, like, oh, you don't want to be the lowest, but I don't think I've ever had anyone come out and say, I want to be the highest. So what is your strategy behind that?
My strategy behind that is I've talked to like a few event planners in the past who are in like the luxury and ultra luxury market. And like the luxury clients value you more if you're more expensive. because they think that that means higher quality and better outcomes that they'll have.
Mm-hmm.
Like the ultra luxury clients don't want to hire someone that's like $300. They want to hire someone that's like the best of the best.
Yeah. And I would imagine you're not just tripling your prices for no reason. So what are some of those service, things that you're adding in there to make the higher price worth it?
Like we do for our higher end clients, we'll do like complimentary site visits and Zoom calls and send out color samples and create like renderings and mock-ups for them and kind of like cater to their individual needs and wants and actually care about what they want the event outcome to be.
Yeah. And
And
do you
not
feel like how did you get to those higher prices? Did you do it at a lower price and you were like, this isn't worth it and you had to go up higher? Because I know I've definitely got roped into jobs where I'm like, it's $3,000. Obviously, I'm going to do whatever they say. And then by the end, you're like, that wasn't worth $3,000. Like, that was 6 months of my life that I spent on this one
definitely.
job.
Yeah, that's kind of the process. Even that's why I try to stay away from sculptures because sculptures you can never price those out high enough, and you're always
Yeah.
like, should have try charge double or triple that. So, I mean, it's kind of trial and error, as you said. You figure out what works, and then you just kind of like fluff it to make it worth it because you know it will take longer or the
Yeah.
logistics are more complicated.
And what point do you lock these people in? Because I've heard a lot of people, they'll take a deposit before they even talk to someone, or they'll charge for the site visit, but then that comes off the final. Or I've heard people design entire parties and then they don't get booked and they just are kind of screwed. So like at what point does someone turn into an actual client so that you're comfortable investing all this time on them?
I mean, I've definitely designed whole parties for people and they haven't booked. I mean,
Mm,
that's to say part of the process. So I try not to do like full designs anymore unless it's a repeat client or someone I know is going to spend money, either a referral from a repeat client or whatnot.
mm-hmm.
And sometimes I'll price out whole jobs. And if the client goes for it and then they want a site visit, I'm fine with that because they're already locked in with the
Yeah.
numbers and it's not doing a site visit and then going back and they're like, oh, sorry, we don't have the money, or they find someone cheaper.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you just price it like I do a deposit ahead of time? Like I do 50% to save your date and then 100% 2 weeks before. Like what is your price structure for something on a $30,000 scale?
Usually the same.
Okay.
It's usually a 50% deposit ahead of time and then the other payment. It depends, either like 2 weeks to a month before, depending on how much time we have before the event.
Yeah, because I would imagine, I mean, you're buying thousands of dollars in products for that, so you can't necessarily float the whole thing and wait for a check to come in after. Like I've had corporate be like, "Oh, we do net 60." And I'm like, "Well, but like then I'm spending $5,000 of my own money just like hoping you pay me. That doesn't feel
Exactly.
fair." They're like, "Oh, but we pay after." It's like, but no, you can't just like make up my rules. I don't know, that frustrates me so much.
Yeah, it does frustrate me. I mean, we have like one corporate client that's always like net 30 or net 60. So I just know, but then it complicates it because then they send checks and then I have to say that the check came through in QuickBooks.
Mm-hmm.
It's just another step. First, if they could just pay by credit card or something, then it's automatically taken care of, and I don't have to do
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Do you use like a system? What do you use behind the scenes to kind of run things?
Just QuickBooks, QuickBooks
Okay.
Online.
That's how you do everything for invoicing and running everything?
Yeah,
Nice. Okay, cool.
it's very
Cool.
efficient and it's all in one place, so
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
can.
neat. Okay, so you want to be the highest price. You are attracting those high-end clients. Are they mostly corporate or mostly private?
I say most of our high-end clients are social, they're private clients.
Okay, so they're people having big parties for themselves.
A lot of like milestone celebrations. Like our biggest event to date was a 60th birthday party.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
tell us about that. Let's dive into the world of luxury. What have been some of your favorites or some that you're just like, this was insane?
Probably that 60th birthday party was pretty much insane. It was like a big room and it was inspired by an art exhibit that kind of had played with like light and reflections.
Okay.
So it was all different size silver orbs hung from the ceiling, ranging from like the 16 or 15-inch ones to 32 inches. And then we used those big inflatable spheres as like a photo op, and those went up to 8 feet. So
I
that was,
hate those things. I have them. Where do you store yours?
I hate them too. I don't, I mean, I just kind of fold them up and like store them in boxes.
Oh my gosh, I have a whole storage unit just for mine and I never rent them because I don't know how, because I don't know what's fair for pricing and I forget I have them. I hate them. I'm using them for a job next month and then I'm selling them. So if anyone is interested, I have like 40 silver ones that I just,
Oh my gosh.
I know. I don't. I kept acquiring them. I used them like probably 3 years ago, and I had to buy them. And back then, no one had them yet, so I had to ask someone where they got them. And then I just like PayPal'd some random person in China a bunch of money, and then crossed my fingers, and it worked out. But then other people were like, "Oh, we have these and don't want them anymore. Do you want them at a bargain rate?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I just kept collecting them, and now I have so
40.
many, all different sizes, just folded up, never in use. But they are impressive. They are super impressive.
They are, but I feel like after a few uses, they just get wrinkly and they're not as
Hmm.
smooth and flat as people expect them to be.
Yeah, and I store them in the storage unit, so I'm also scared. Like, what if a mouse is eating little holes through them, and then I go to rent them, and I don't find out until that
Even
day, So I'm just like a little, I don't know, I'm just hesitant, but that's just my own personal tangent about the big spheres.
no, I agree with you. I haven't posted any of them on our Instagram because I feel the same way.
I know, I know. I'm gonna use them all, blow them all up, make sure they work, and then get rid of them. So, okay. So what else have you done? I know you do a big pride parade. I saw that on your Instagram. Is that an annual event or how did that work? How did you get that job?
So for the New York City Pride March, at first, or backstory, I went to like the parades, promotions, and profits with Balloons by Tommy in Chicago. I think it was 2017 or
Were we
18.
there at the same time?
I think so. That
That
was
was like my first time doing anything. So I don't remember anyone because I was so new. Like I didn't know anybody. Like Eddie was there, obviously, Tommy, Scott, Joette. Was that the year Dennis Scott was there? And
it was like
Carolyn?
Life is Sweet.
Yeah, I was there. That's so funny. I
Okay.
mean, that
That's
probably was the
funny.
first time we met, but I met everyone that day. So I
Yeah,
just have no.
overwhelming.
How so you okay, sorry, I cut you off, but oh my gosh, we were in the same place at the same time and I
That's
didn't
just
even
fun.
know.
Small world. Yeah, so that was my first entry into like parades and whatnot. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do New York City Pride. And then Eddie was like, are you serious? So Eddie flew up and helped me do it. And we had like a big, huge display. We did an under the sea theme. And then we were like one of the last floats. So it